I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
Freaking Shia LaBeouf 2013. Just do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Make your dreams come true. That's like one of the best clips of all time.
Okay. Well, in honor of doing it, I will do the countdown with y'all.
Let's do it.
Let's freaking
All right.
do it. 3,
2,
4.
1.
Oh, shit.
Wait, 4.
For who? For you, Dad. This one's for you.
This is for you, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Notice me.
It's your son.
I love you.
I love you.
Dad, look what I can do. Man. Did you guys ever do that to like your parents? Like something stupid? Just like, look at this.
I'm sure I did it when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, I have a specific memory of when I pissed my mom off. Oh shit. Call from North Carolina. I don't know anybody in North Carolina. Block.
You're all across the country popular.
I turned off my call protect things. I'm getting spam calls. Okay, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, my mom was in bed, and I was up on like a Saturday morning or something playing my original Xbox, and I had a copy of Sonic Heroes, and I unlocked like a movie, like an in-game cutscene or something, and I was like, "Mom, come look at this movie," but she thought I said, "Mom, come look at this move," so she walked in there for a minute, and I started playing like this cutscene, and she was just like, why am I watching this? She was like, I thought you were just showing me like a thing a character can do.
Just waiting for an epic move, and it's just a
like, no, look at this, Sonic Heroes. He was like, I'm going back to bed.
Is that secretly the Nickelback
Nice,
inspiration story for the writing of the song Photograph? Look at
this,
this,
Sonic.
Sonic Gabe. This is a cutscene. I think it's pretty cool. Son, you should be in school.
Rushmore is like, Sonic Heroes, and like 8-year-old me is like, yeah. However old I was.
Oh god, 8-year-old stories. Jeez, what was like my first? Because like I don't think I played games that really had like that kind of like rock influence. So like my first music influences were like crappy CDs my parents got me. So like my first CDs were like a NSYNC or Backstreet Boys album and William Hung's Inspiration.
Dude, the Tony Hawk soundtracks are forever like the soundtracks to my life.
True. Yeah, that was probably my first one. Was Pro Skater 4.
Fucking, what was it? I forget. I think it's funny. I think it's Pro Skater 2 has a song by I forgot their name. Goldfinger. It's like the here I am doing everything
Superman.
I can. Yeah, that's a good song. It's going on to what I am. And it's just like it's like forever like drilled in my brain.
You
You
luckily
kids are
got
so
it
young.
before me, man. I was like in my teenage years when I got my PS2. So
Spencer, you cannot sit there and tell me that the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtracks did not influence your life.
Well, by the time that came out, I was not quite in high school, but almost in high school. So, not to that extent, no.
There were no bangers on the.
Well, Goldfinger's
Tony
freaking
Hawk's.
awesome. But yeah, at that time, when I was playing Tony Hawk, I was in 8th grade. So,
Oh, that's still prime influence time, right?
it kind of, but I'm a little more established at that point. It's not like it's like my first rock music or anything. It was
it's not my first rodeo.
it was a little past. Yeah. Yeah.
What was your first? Okay, whatever. Welcome to the Button Mappers.
What was my first rodeo?
Yeah, what was your first rodeo? Welcome to the Button Mappers. Today we're talking about parents and gaming. I don't know what the hell we're even calling this episode. I'm your host, Dr. Phil.
We're in for a spicy one of Dr. Phil on the Button Mappers.
Bring out their parents. All of our parents come out. Jerry Springer. We get to a fist fight with somebody in the audience or something. I don't know. But yeah, we're just going to share some stories about, not stories, but share aspects. Teddy, maybe you could do a better job summing up the episode.
You're doing fine, but we could all sit around the campfire and pass the marshmallows. But before we do, where else might the viewers find a good rodeo of a podcast time?
Yeehaw! Hop on your horses, ladies and gents, and ride on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Well, get ready because we're gonna have a fight with the bull. I don't know what that's called. After that, head on over to the Discord and get yourself some boots.
Well, nay. I'll be the horse. Make sure you gallop over to YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this right now, and smash the subscribe button and leave us a comment on
lasso the subscribe button.
Mm-hmm. Lasso the subscribe. Well, that would pull the button to you. I don't know. I guess whip it with the lasso if that makes any sense.
There you go. There you go.
Stomp on the like button. Yeah, leave us a comment about your dad.
Square dance in the comments.
Yeah.
Something
we'll
to
have
do
a little
with
hootenanny.
Dad, square dance, and rodeo. You'll find a way, Terry.
That yeehaw took a lot out of me.
Yeah.
That's
Alex is done for the episode.
I'm done.
I do want to say too. I do want to say that this recording was done a little bit earlier than expected, and I have taken my creatine and pre-workout with the intention of going to the gym, and then now I'm here. So I just if I explode at some point,
can you just ignore me. Or something?
just get it out of your system.
Spencer's secretly doing leg lifts underneath the desk.
Yeah, I'm actually working out my legs right now.
You're actually doing it right now.
Yeah, get one of those stupid inflatable balls you sit on.
Yeah.
What a dumb idea.
I know.
Well, speaking of dumb ideas, this is not one. It's just good to be around the campfire with the boys. But eventually boys become men. And many men are dads. And we're going to talk about the dad life. Dad life for kids. And specifically what it was like for us as kids growing up with games, game culture, video games specifically. What was it really? Who would like to start?
I feel like this is going to be really interesting too because we all come from kind of different backgrounds when it comes to this.
It's true.
So yeah, so I think we're going to have a lot of different perspectives here too.
Well, mine would be the earliest, so I guess I can go.
Bring out old man Spencer.
Find your way early in the history textbook. We're going back to page 1, the introduction.
Yeah.
Page 1,
so
Spencer.
So I was 5 when I got a Super Nintendo for my birthday. So that would be 1993 or 4, somewhere in there. So I got Super Nintendo with Super Mario World, and I'm sure my dad instantly regretted it. But we had the Super Nintendo in a different room because they didn't want us to have a TV in our room. And so we had it in a little den, and we were able to go in there and play it. And we had to ask, can I play Super Nintendo and they'd say, okay. And then that's the gaming culture of 1994. With parents that are terrified of technology and how it could warp our brains. So that was how I got started with gaming and how my dad looked at it. If that's any insight.
Do your parents just live in constant fear now because everything's technology?
My mom has embraced the digital revolution and is in everything. My dad died 4 years ago, so he was terrified of technology, and then clearly terrified of the doctor's office because he did not survive.
I don't want to follow that up, but I will.
Yeah, you just planted a landmine, Spencer.
Yeah.
Alex and I were like, it's okay. I'll go.
All my stories are post. What is it?
You could have just said yes, Spencer.
Well, fuck. My first experience with video games was going to my dad's friend's Super Bowl party. We were all there, and all the kids went upstairs. And they had a TV, and they were playing some Final Fantasy game, either on a PlayStation or Super Nintendo. I just don't remember. It looked old school, though. Like, the characters were, like, going up a mountain. I don't think it was as advanced as Final Fantasy 9. I know there's, like, that scene early on in 9, but maybe, like, within the first 10 hours.
Could have been 6.
Could have been. But I remember seeing them play Star Fox, and they started, and then they all went downstairs for dinner. And, you know, I didn't really know these kids, so it's not like they invited me to play Final Fantasy, and plus the single player anyway, so, like, I wouldn't have got time on. But when they went downstairs, I got some time to pick up the controller and play Star Fox 64. And it was just, like, one of those surreal experiences, because Star Fox is just, like, it really grants you, especially as a kid, it's, like, very user-friendly, you know, like, you could easily just pick up the controller and kind of get the gist of movement and viewpoint and, you know, things coming at you on screen, and then, like, you're hearing these characters, they're really animated and bubbly, and that's when I kind of knew that I wanted to get into gaming. So my parents took note of that. I got an N64 either that year or a year later or something for Christmas with Pokemon Snap, N64. My dad and I played Pokemon Snap that day. We played a lot of the day. He loved it, and I loved it too. I love that he loved it. And then I spent a lot of time just playing Ocarina. That's how it all began.
Do you think there's a kid now that's like at a Super Bowl party and all the kids step away from the games and he picks up Star Fox Zero?
Like, oh, fucking hate this.
Yeah, they're all playing fucking Fortnite, and then they just leave the Wii U on, and they all go downstairs, and the one kid's left. He has Star Fox Zero, and he becomes fucking traumatized. He's like, I don't ever want to play that game. Ah! I'm reading. I don't like this. I want books.
I have to look there, to look here. Then what's happening?
Games suck.
Yeah.
That's a good story, though. Mine's a little more. Mine's not as cut and dry as your guys's, because my mom, especially, always, she grew up playing games. She grew up in a household where she played like the Atari 2600 with her dad. So I was always around video games. So I just kind of have like a few early memories of like me playing games with them on like her NES. There's actually a picture. I'll send it to whoever's editing this episode. There's a picture that I recently found of me. I had to be like 2 or 3. And they were on the couch playing NES, and I had just fucking passed out. And they got up, and it's just tiny me laying on this big couch, and there's like an NES on the floor and like 2 games and like a controller leading up. And I posted that to my Instagram last year, and I was like, wow, things never really changed, did they? But so yeah, I was always kind of around games, but I do have like some of those memories, like early memories. I remember my mom used to go to a gym, and the gym was kind of cool because they had like a kids area where the kids can go hang out with fuck off while the parents are busy. And in the area that the kids hang out in, they had a few game consoles there. And at the time, I'm not sure what I had, probably just the Game Gear and stuff, but they had a Super Nintendo and a few games. I think they had like Aladdin and a few other games. But the game that I played, or not Aladdin, Jungle Book, a few other games, but the game that I played was DK Country. And that was my first time playing DK Country. And that was like really, impactful for me because that's like one of my favorite games of all time. But that's my first time ever playing it. But yeah, I just kind of have like bits of memories here or there. But I always kind of grew up around games.
I think the formative years are kind of significant when we're looking at this. The first memories always kind of like stand out. It's like it's like so surreal in a sense. Like whatever it is, like that first game that stuck out to you. I think the formative years as a whole are like what, like 8 to 18 maybe, 8 to 17. So like, what was your relationship with video games and video game consoles like in the formative years? What consoles did you own? How often did you play? How did you feel about games?
You said 17 to 18?
No, like 8 to 18.
Oh, 8 to 18.
Yes.
Whoa.
So like 10 years.
That's a whole spectrum.
That's a doozy.
Okay, 8 would be okay. Early 8, and then maybe to 10. I don't know, somewhere in that range. We were kicking on the Super Nintendo. We'd moved it into our room. Our parents allowed that. I'm sure they were just sick of us constantly asking, "Can we play this thing?" So they moved it to our room. So we had a TV, which was itself was huge because then I figured out what I like to watch, like The Simpsons, and I'd always see the beginning of Star Trek and then go to bed. But there was my sister got a boyfriend in high school, and he was like a big gamer, but he'd already moved on to the N64, which was happening. I don't remember, but he had some Super Nintendo games, and he was like, "You guys want these?" And like, "Sure." And he just gave it to us. Those 3 games. One was Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, you should let us guess. Okay, so we can guess the other two.
You can guess the other 2. Go ahead.
Link to the Past.
Yes. You'll never guess the third one.
Oh,
Link to the Past.
Okay, well, I have some ideas. I'll say my one that I'm going to go with, and then I'll tell you the backup. The first is the Tiny Toons game.
No. I bought that with my own money.
Okay.
Which
Maybe I
is
should
bizarre.
The other would be a TMNT game.
No, but I got that at a yard sale.
We're Back, a dinosaur story.
No, but I played that at a friend's house.
I have that game.
The Super Nintendo library is not that big after all.
I was like, what stupid game do I own? I was like, We're Back, a dinosaur story.
Okay, Spencer. What?
The third game was Wing Commander.
Hey, I had that one too.
I no longer have any of those games because my dad destroyed them all. He took them outside and stomped on them because he thought I was addicted. So I had some games that weren't in that carrying case, and then we ended up trading them to some friend who was a dick and didn't really give us anything for it. But we didn't. We lost all the major games. But so early, like that would be pleasant, and then we got an N64 later, but we didn't have. So back in the day, when you have parents that are really old, because my parents were really old. Like when my dad had me, he was 40, to give you understanding of how old they were. So they didn't really understand technology, and quite honestly, were probably afraid of it. So we didn't even have the right hookups for an N64. Like my TV didn't have the 3 inputs. We had to get an adapter for anything we got because it's just our TVs weren't compatible. So it took a while for us to even understand how to even hook up an N64 to our stuff. Wow. So by the time we got that, it was pretty late, and I would wager the PS2 and Dreamcast was coming out, I would guess.
Yeah.
But we were able to get it, and we were a little behind. But at that point, the benefit of that is at that time, like the used game market was starting to kick off. And it was like you could go to there were more stores than just GameStop, and you could go to these places and get like, oh, there's games for like $10, or there's like really great games for 10, 20, $15, which was cool for us because we were scooping up all the cool stuff at that time. Like I got Ocarina of Time, I'd get like wrestling games, I would get anything. Like I remember getting was it Hexen that was on the
Oh
N64?
no.
Which I liked, at the time. I didn't know any better, but it wasn't horrible, but it certainly wasn't amazing. But yeah, all my games I just get used because like why not? They're like $15. And so I get Smash Bros. I remember getting that from Blockbuster used for like $20 or something like that. And at the time I didn't know this, and I still don't fully know the details, but my mom and dad were having major rift issues. And by the time I got to junior year in high school, which there was drama going up to that, I saved up a whole bunch of money. I saved up like $200, which with no real job, like just allowance money, which I established that through an eating disorder because my parents would give me like money for lunch every week. Like they made $20 to just survive on lunch at school, and I would just not eat and then save the $20. And I saved up like $200, and I was ready to get a GameCube. I was super pumped. And then my dad said, "No, you can't get any of that because it's too addictive, and you're like a nerd now." So he wouldn't let me get it. So I was like really mad and bitter. Yeah. But in junior year, my dad and my mom got a divorce, and literally when they told me that they were splitting up, that day I took a bus to the mall and got a Nintendo DS, and then got like whatever games I could afford at the time. So I know I got Nintendogs, and I think I got Fire Emblem. I don't know. But that, and I must have been probably 15 or 16 at the time. So that's when my newest, that's like a start of me gaming almost, is going from there to like being a modern gamer is just exploring that. Because once he was gone, my mom didn't give a shit. She's like, go ahead, get all the consoles you want. So that's when that took off for me.
What's a store you used to frequent?
It was always called Babbage's in the mall, and it would obviously then turn into GameStop. But at the time, it was called Babbage's. Yeah.
For me, it was Funko Land. I just went to Funko Land and bought games. Yeah, it was the same thing. Where it was just dirt cheap games.
Yeah. Back then, they used to be able to play them in the
yeah, dude.
stores.
I have weird, vivid memories of playing of Knights on the Saturn at a Funko Land, and being not really understanding what the hell I was even doing, but like, just being like mesmerized with like these colors and stuff, and just being like, oh, that. And that's also where I played banjo for the first time. Is at a Funko Land.
Nice.
At a kiosk. I remember running around Spiral Mountain.
We only had
that was
GameStop,
trippy.
but they would protect the console with like plastic and the controller or something, so you couldn't like take it. But yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
I see some GameStops with like a Switch kiosk and stuff sometimes, where they're like, "Look at the Switch games that are coming out. You can watch videos or." I don't know, but they don't really have like it where where you can just like used to like those stores. You could just be like, "Hey, can I try this?" And the person working would be like, "Okay."
Yeah, it used to be like a normal thing. It's like, just try it out. It's like, cool, it works.
They probably realized that kids were just coming in and not buying anything and just playing the game.
Yeah,
so they were like, "Oh, we gotta get rid of this."
I used to do that.
Oh, they found out this game was a dog turd. Maybe I shouldn't tell them that up at the front.
Yeah. Can I play Quest 64? No.
No. Well, that's so funny because that's what I did. I got Quest 64 as a used game, and I didn't try it out because my mom was impatient. So I walked in, I was like, I need a Quest 64, and then I took it home. I was like, oh, fuck.
It's funny.
Which era in the pre-divorce or post-divorce era do you attribute more satisfaction with your game time?
That is such a hard question. I would honestly say pre-divorce, because I really had to just cherish the time I could spend playing games. And there was all kinds of insanity with that, because so like I essentially lived at my friend's house because I would come home from school and then just go to their house. So I had bought a PlayStation and eventually a PS2. but they were at my friend's house because I couldn't have that at my house. So I would go to my friend's house and be like, hey, and then just turn on a PlayStation or PS2 and just go to town. Like that's where I played Metal Gear Solid 3. Was at my friend's house.
Snake
Yeah, I'm like thinking, they're like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, don't worry about it. Go do whatever you're gonna do. And that's where I played Chrono Cross.
I give my life, not for honor, but
Yeah.
for you.
They were so confused with the different games I was playing in there. Like, what the hell is this? And I played Chrono Cross there. I played Final Fantasy IX. So there are all those moments that I just absolutely cherish, and that I'm so desperately trying to play these games. Whereas after, I think that had like a really negative effect on me as a gamer because there was like a 5-year period where I was like, oh, I can get all the games I want now, and it's like, okay, I'll just go to the store and buy the newest game, play it for 2 hours, be like, okay, I'm bored, and I'll skip to the next one, and just it created this like overflux of the ability to buy games, and so I think the pre stuff was better, but I learned how to embrace gaming stronger after that brief period. So I don't know. That's a tough question, but good one.
Sick. I just want to say
Hey, pause the episode for like 2 seconds. Hold on.
We're over 2 seconds.
I'm just enjoying this. I'm sorry. Oh. Okay. Well, we could just, shoot the shit. So, how's your day?
It was interesting because I was going to stream like Soul Hackers 2 the whole day.
Yeah.
And then, she got home pretty late. I was already asleep. And I was going to go to the gym, and then we did this. So it's probably healthier to go to the gym a little bit later and then stream a little bit less. But,
I'm back. Sorry.
Guess
I took the day off.
Sick. We talked about the principles of fatherhood and raising a child and all the life hacks. How to hack into the soul of a child.
I give my life. I just got the Metal Gear Solid 3 theme right now.
Great song.
I guess I'll go next.
You're breaking chronology, but go for it.
Oh, sorry. I'll go. Teddy, go next.
You sure? I'll let you go.
I forgot we were going in order.
In
Teddy,
reverse order. Technically, you should have gone first, but no, I guess Spencer was born first.
Yeah, the time.
We're going by born.
Time's made up anyway.
It's just a human construct.
I base my understanding of timelines on Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah, there's the split timeline.
Right. We're splitting to Alex next. I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay. Where it all began. Well, you started with where it began. The formative years.
Where it all began.
8 to 18. So I kind of just accepted whatever Nintendo 64 games I got. There was a GameStop within a couple miles. My parents would take me there sometimes. And I kind of grew an affection for the 3D platformer and adventure genre because the N64 was like kind of pioneered the way for 3D visuals in gaming. It's not the first system to do it, but it had some of the most iconic, and especially in terms of, cameras and angles and viewing things. So it kind of just shaped my understanding of 3D visuals in a video game. My relationship with video games, because it was interesting because, like, I don't think I was really explicitly, like, reprimanded for my feelings for video games because it was very much my own time. Because I was already in school or on a track team or on a swim team. I was swimming on a team as early as 8 years old. And so, like, I was already after school going and doing that. And then I'd be home by 6. I'd eat, play for an hour, go to sleep. I think when it became really problematic is when I would go over to my friend's house after school until swim practice. And we'd play, something or so on for an hour or so. But he had an Xbox 360, so we got big into like Call of Duty and Halo, and so I would eventually go on and get my own 360, and I got really into just like the online world of it and the communicative aspects. And so I'd play a lot of death matches, and I'd be staying up late. My parents would hear me on the headset. I'd try and be like super quiet, like, yeah, guys, let's go. My dad would just come in the room, and he would threaten to stomp my Xbox and, throw my games out. He never did it. But like you, Spencer, he's quite a bit older than I am. And I'm his last child. So I'm also an only child. So I have half siblings, but so like I kind of just like was off, like very much being independent, like by myself and doing what was right and getting out of my parents' hair. I think that towards the end of high school, I started to see that like video games weren't helping me develop interpersonal relationships outside of the ones that I already had. So I started to try and break from that in order to try and integrate into more high school circles. And there was like, it was good and bad because like I kind of fell in with some bad crowds. And it's good that I branched out and I talked to more people, but I think I rejected a part of myself, or I associated it like a thing that I actually just inherently like. Like I like playing like multiplayer games, single player games, whatever. But I always associate it with bad things. My parents never fully understood it. I don't think older generations did in general. Teachers didn't understand it, so they weren't like pro gaming. They're all like, pro career. So it's like nobody ever associated video games with like the future or like growth, at least in who I talked to. I had one computer teacher who would like teach me keyboarding, but it's like I wasn't a PC gamer anyway. So I never saw like a path with gaming. And so I kind of just like in the latter half of my formative years, I started to reject that. And it wasn't until like my college years, I got to like after when I saw my roommate first brought like his N64 and Mario Kart, and he was like the coolest kid on campus, I was like, oh, I got to go home and get my N64. But I don't look back with much regret because I think a lot of it was positive and still a learning experience. And a lot of it, like, I think people just need time to figure out who they are. And so, like, I think my big takeaway is just to be forgiving of myself, not to hold it over my head. How dare I, not be into Wii collecting during the Wii era, like, I don't know. So that's kind of where it was. It went from the generations were N64 to Wii. So I had an N64, a GameCube. I had the Wii with Wii Sports and Mario Galaxy, but that's like all I played. I would get a 360, I get a PS2, and then I had all the Nintendo handhelds from Game Boy Color to GBA to DS, but I didn't have a lot of the special editions.
So you said that about what age would you say you stopped? You felt like you had to stop playing so many games. Like around what age?
16, 15, 16.
Oh, so like right towards the tail end of that.
Like sophomore year, junior year.
Wow. And did you have friends that were into gaming that you had to like explain that to, or?
Well, when you're a kid, you're not very good at explaining things, especially in that era. So I think I probably like cut off some friendships, not so well, but it was mutually poorly cut off, because everyone like in their mind creates explanations for why something ended. So I've talked to a lot of these people years later, and they have like a different view of what happened than I do. But I know too that like, I mean, I could have handled things better. I think they could have as well. So
yeah, we were freaking kids.
Yeah, and that's why I think like my thing is like I forgive you, but do you accept what you did? I've forgiven myself too, and do you forgive me for what I've done? Because it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like a lot of people don't have that kind of mindset. They just want to villainize you for everything. So, and in that case, fuck them. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. Is like you can't look back at a child who's learning how to grow up, learning how to be an adult, and be like, "You made a mistake." Like, fuck you. Like,
yeah,
dude, I had hormones shooting through my body. I'm stupid. Like, I literally don't know. That's why I'm doing this stupid thing. Like, you make mistakes, and hopefully we can all look back at what we did and just be like, hey, I was a kid and I was learning.
Yeah,
That was dumb.
that's what happened with me and my friend Ethan's been on the show before and stuff. Is we were super close, and then that kind of stuff happened, and then as adults we were like, hey, that was dumb.
Yeah.
What's up?
And it takes a mature mind to do that.
Too mature minds.
Because like Teddy, too mature mind. Because some, like Teddy was saying, some people just never let it go. They're like I've got cousins who haven't spoken to their parents. Like my aunt is always like, she's the sweetest lady, but there's a thing that happened during high school, and her daughter won't talk to her, and it's like how do you? I don't know. That's so sad that some people just stop growing, or at least can't move on from things.
Well, I think there's a certain point at which your boundary is crossed, and I can't speak to your cousin and her mother, but with like a parent relationship, like that's a little different. If a parent like if you feel like a parent abused you in some way, whether they did or didn't, like, or it's like, and they're older too. Older people have a really hard time learning things about themselves. They have a hard time challenging their worldview. And so if you don't like something that they do, it's really hard to get them to understand that. So again, it's not necessarily
the anger's all on her, on my cousin's side.
Yeah, of course. Understandably so. But I'm saying the parent probably doesn't even, maybe she doesn't even understand fully like what the thing is. And it's a kid's choice at 18. If you want to move out, you don't have to stay. It's just hard for a parent because like a parent wants to hold on to their kid forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Do you know what else is a parent?
What?
This month.
That it's my turn.
Wait. I want to talk about the Game Boy Color and playing Pokemon
sorry,
at
go ahead.
YMCA camp.
I thought you were done. I thought you were done. Talk about YMCA camp.
I picked Charmander. That was the right one.
Wrong choice.
No, that's the right choice.
Wrong choice.
Wait, according to Terry, it's the wrong choice because I'm Charmander, I thought. I don't remember what Teddy was supposed to be. Squirtle?
Did Terry assign me a Pokemon?
On one of your Q&As, it was like, who's all the starter
Fine,
Pokemon?
I'll be fucking Squirtle. God damn it.
Sorry.
I'll accept
The Terry
Squirtle's
is
cool.
Fine, I'll be
Terry
fucking
has spoken.
Squirtle.
Fucking Squirtle.
Fucking Squirtle.
My mind is telling me I'm Charmander, but my body is telling me I'm Squirtle, okay? What can I say?
What's your heart telling you, Bulbasaur?
Alex?
Hi, I'm Alex, and I play video games, and I've always played video games. I grew up in a way different environment than you guys. My parents were younger and were into video games. My dad likes them. My mom really likes them. So it was always an environment where like video games were always kind of accepted, which could be a good and a bad thing. We're going from like 8 to 18. I played a lot of shit, so it's just hard. So I'm just gonna like run through some stuff, some consoles real quick, and then I'll pinpoint some stuff. So like N64, PlayStation, Super Nintendo, Genesis, of course. Those are like probably the consoles I had earliest memories with. And then like I got an Xbox, got a PS2, I got a GameCube eventually, Wii, Xbox 360. Of course, I had the handhelds, DS, whatever. And then the last console I bought myself out of high school before I graduated was the PS3. And then I got a Wii U like the Christmas right after I graduated because it had just come out. But yeah, so I had always, of course, GBA and Game Gear and stuff. I always had a strong relationship with video games. So for me, it's like it's harder to break down because like I also had a lot of friends that played video games. So I was always kind of in that environment. I think where games became more impactful for me though was whenever I got older and I started to learn more about the history of video games because the internet became a more viable thing for me whenever I became a teenager. And through that, I was able to discover people online that shared the same interests as me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy shit, people like this stuff. So I was able to kind of grow my love for games that way through high school. And I was always the guy. I was always the guy that people were like, "Hey, do you know what this game is?" Or "Hey, do you know a good game for this console?" Or "Hey, can I borrow this game?" Which was always a no. Uh, but so I was always that guy, which comes with the upsides and downsides. The upsides is that I obviously enjoy what I enjoy, and the friends that also share that passion, I like to talk to them and play games with them and stuff. But it also comes with the downside of like you're just labeled as that. You're labeled as the guy that likes video games. Like that became like my personality for a lot of people that didn't know me. It was like, oh, he plays a lot of video games. It was never like there's like other things I enjoy other than video games, but it really kind of locked me into that. But my parents were always pretty supportive of my hobbies and stuff. And I have a lot of memories of, I would always, especially when I was a teenager, I'd always ask them to take me to GameStop because that's all we had at the time. And I'd be like, hey, take me to GameStop, and then you guys go do whatever you have to do, and then come pick me up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to take my time. So usually that was the smart plan. It was just let them drop me off and I'll buy look through all the games and buy what I wanted to buy. But yeah, so my history with games aren't as complicated as your guys. I didn't like take a break, or I never had any issues like that. But I would say that sometimes it did present a challenge within my social life to just be the guy that likes video games.
How did you
do
deal
you have
with
go ahead.
Do what?
How did you deal with the feelings associated with that label?
I sort of just kind of tried to ignore the people that just saw me as that because they didn't really know me. People that knew me knew that I had a lot more. I mean, I was doing I was doing a lot of like film work in high school, and I was doing a lot of other stuff. I loved, music, and I loved, other arts and stuff. So a lot of the people that actually knew me knew that about me. But so I usually try to ignore the people that were just like, hey, you like video games. I literally had one guy one time. We were on a field trip in high school. We went to I forget it's called the Game Farm. It's just like a park, and they have like a pond you can fish in, and like a area with like wildlife and stuff. And this one guy came up to me. I never really know him. He was a douchebag. He came up to me. And he goes, hey, you like video games, right? Like, you play them all the time. Like, yeah. He goes, would you like a copy of, I forget what it was. It was the newest game that came out on 360 at the time. It was like for $30. And I was like, what? Turns out they stole a bunch of stuff from a Walmart truck. But I didn't buy any, but I was just like, no, I don't want to do stolen games from a Walmart truck.
You didn't steal it?
Well, yeah, but I know what the repercussions could be for that, if they track them down, So, so I was just like, nope. But still, it was just like, but the fact that guy targeted me kind of made me feel like, is that, what I'm known as,
Mm-hmm. At least you're not known as the game thief.
Yeah, the game thief.
That sounds like a YouTube channel.
Hey guys, game thief here.
Game thief.
Hey, thieves and stealers.
Ready to pirate?
Yeah.
Yarg.
Do you have any? You said that your mom was a big gamer. Your dad was just kind of cool with it.
He likes more casual stuff, but he never really whenever I was younger, like 64 era, he played like GoldenEye and some boxing games and stuff. Like he liked games then, but he kind of, as he got older, I think he just became like less adapted to that, and now if he plays games, it's more casual stuff.
Do you have any fond memories playing with your parents? Maybe more your mom. Or something?
Absolutely. Well, I still play games with my mom. I go visit them a lot, and we're always playing something. We just finished As Dust Falls on Game Pass the other day. It's pretty good, but yeah, we still play stuff all the time, and her and I were recently playing through Halo 1 together.
I can't even imagine. That is so cool.
Yeah, she's like she'll be, I forget, I'm terrible with ages, so I feel bad, but I think she's turning 50 soon, like in the next couple of years. And yeah, we're playing through all the Halo games right now. And she played through all the Borderlands games recently too. But I definitely do have a lot of strong memories. As a kid, we loved to play 64 because obviously there's a ton of multiplayer games on 64. So I spent a lot of time playing Mario Party and Mario Golf. Ton of time playing Mario Party and Mario Golf. And growing up, we always had time. I learned about a lot of older games through them. They introduced me to stuff like the Atari, which is something I fell in love with. But I didn't have an Atari, but they bought like the Activision anthology on PS2 because they remember playing like River Raid and stuff on the Atari, and then through that, playing that with them, I was able to like discover love for this era of gaming that I was definitely not around for, you know. So yeah, I always have strong memories of playing games with them.
That's great. I from my background, I can't even imagine what that must have been like to play games with your dad or your mom or something. That would have been really cool, but no, I can't even fathom it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever tried, Spencer, but it's like I think there's a generational thing. Like his mom's like 50. Like my mom's got some years on his. And it's like anytime I try and play anything with her, it's like the closest I can get is like Wii Sports Bowling, because anybody could pick that up and play it, But if like Borderlands, she can't pick up.
Yeah.
She just figured out the remotes for the TV. Like
yeah, Borderlands. I'll tell you what though, it took my mom a while to adjust to being able to play with like dual analog sticks though, because whenever we first got like the PS2 and Xbox and stuff, she could not play games like that. But as she got older, she learned to adapt to it and stuff. She played like 360 and everything. But yeah, and it's because they grew up in the 80s, so that's really why. They were around video games in the 80s. That's kind of where all that stuff really kicked off. I mean, really like 77 with the Atari stuff, but pop culture wise, 80s.
Yeah, so a little hip.
Yeah, a little hip.
little hip.
So and it's always like a race for my mom because it's like if I get something, she usually also gets it. It's like I got a VR and then she got a VR, or I get a console and she gets the same console because she'll like try. She'll try whatever I get and then she'll get it. Like she had no interest in the Switch at all, and then I bought a Switch, and now she has two Switches. I bought her a Switch, and then she also won a Switch OLED from a Quaker thing for free. I don't know how the fuck she did that. So she has two Switches, but she plays so much Switch. She has like hundreds of hours in these Switch games, and I couldn't even fathom putting that much time in the Switch games. I was just like my most played Switch game is maybe Smash with like 70 hours, and she has like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley files with like 700 hours, and I'm like, how? She'll be like, I started playing this game, and then I'll look at her profile, and it's like she just started playing My Time at Portia because she loves those kind of like relaxing games. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at her profile, and she has like 125 hours, and she just started playing that like the other week.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Some people are really good at finding time. Like a lot of times, like we say we don't have time, but like I see people who like really make time for like those games. She sounds like one of them. So.
I think there's something impressive about that too, and not because like we like games, so it's cool that she likes games. I think there's something impressive about somebody who can keep up to date on things, because it's really, really easy, and my parents are the prime example of it, of people that they grow up to a point maybe around 30 or so, and then everything else they're just not going to do it. Like so that's even, they're like, they don't even touch computers or anything, that they won't do it. And it's really impressive to hear people that are like, oh, here's a new experience that I'm not used to, but I've seen it, I embrace it, and I'll try it out. That's a really refreshing thing for somebody to do.
Yeah, I think that comes, honestly, I think with my family, my dad is like, he's iffy on technology. Like he needs a lot of help with like learning new technology. But with my mom, I think it comes from her dad, because her dad was super into computers and stuff back in the 70s and 80s. And then I think it kind of passed that love for technology onto her, because like I said, like they played like Atari and stuff together. And you know, and then that. So I think she's always kind of had a love for technology. So I think that's kind of been passed on to me as well, in some sense.
Hmm.
Mm. I think I've inherited some of the stubborn resistance to technology because like I won't upgrade stuff until like the last minute. Like, you know, you guys saw I rejected Xbox until you guys got me one. Do not have a PS5. Did not want to get a Switch. I had to get bought a Switch. I did not have an iPhone until 2017 because I kept being late to work. So my brother-in-law gave me his half-broken iPhone. And once I started dating my girlfriend, I just like, okay, fine, I'll fucking upgrade. So, yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I think skepticism is healthy as well. Uh, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like VR, I will not ever touch. I'm scared of the implications of what that'll do to my life. So I will never touch VR. But other things, yeah, I'm all about
Yeah,
certain. Like
VR
I'm
stuff.
literally waiting for my Steam Deck to show up. So that it's supposed to show up today. So
Oh shit! Nice.
yeah, so part of me is like new, but the VR stuff I'm terrified. So just I guess, yeah, like you pick your
What's
poison on
the
that.
first thing you're gonna play on a Steam Deck?
The first thing I'm going to do is install as many ROMs and emulators as I can. Uh, It's more of a toy in that way for me.
Rom police, set up the match.
I thought you were
Terry.
gonna play I thought you were gonna play like Elden Ring in bed or something.
I do want to play. Yeah, Elden Ring might be the first, just to see how far I can push it. Yeah.
Push it to the limit. Well, hey, you can blow some steam off with your creatine. Um, so overall, rate your childhood.
Is this an out of 7 thing?
Rate your childhood with the button mappers.
I give it a 10. I'm a 10. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to think about like how you would look back at it and what you would, if you would, give it. I don't know about rating it, but positive, negative, etc. Because as you get older, I don't. Obviously, you could easily say like fuck my dad, but he's a man who did. He had his opinions, and he tried to help me, in ways that he thought he was helping me, and I can see why he did what he did, I don't hold any anger towards him. It's I don't know. If he would have been more embracing, maybe my grades would have been worse. I was not a good student, especially when I was playing a lot of video games. I think it did negatively affect my grades. I was a C, B student. B, if I got a B on certain classes, I was thrilled. Like if I got a B in science, I don't know. I was told in the ticker parade, but so maybe he did help me to pass through school better by restricting me in some ways, and maybe not. I don't know, but I know that he tried to help me. So I think there's positives and negatives. I think it could have been a lot better, but I think it could have been a lot worse. So I'm not sure. That's a tough question.
IGN gives Spencer's child. I was kidding.
5 out of 7. Basically, that's a long way of saying 5 out of 7.
It's hard. I mean, like my dad didn't really understand it either. Like, I don't think he necessarily likes that was the case either. I think every parent has like a vision for you, which is unfair. It's like they want to make you into something, and it's like, well, what about me figuring out what I want? Which I don't want to be like, end me. Yeah, I'm over here. Like pick me, whatever. But I do want to be like, well, I shouldn't feel bad about exploring this path. There were much worse things than video games. And I don't know that my parents necessarily did that. I don't know that I didn't necessarily have friends then either. I had a friend, I went to his house every day after school, and we linked up and played games, and it was just part of the culture. I mean, we were around for the Pokemon craze. Like, I was there when it was like, I was,
Oh boy.
It was like, hey, I'm selling to you, like that was the thing. And I think the hard thing for me was like, I didn't grow out of the Pokemon phase. A lot of people did. They moved on. And I kind of just, I stuck in my nostalgia. and I think maybe that's what they might have had worries about. I'm not regretful for anything. In fact, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. I feel like I have an appreciation for something like the arts in gaming, like how gaming can be an art form, like the cinematic nature of certain games, and just seeing it at like the inception of the 3D era was pivotal. Seeing the multiplayer phenomenon of like Mario parties, Mario Karts, Pokemon trading, like Halo Online, like that's when it was the peak. I think it's given me a lens from which to see it nowadays. Nowadays, it's just so much different. And you talked about moving with the times. I don't know that I did, and I don't know that I need to. But I do know that I think with like kids nowadays, kind of like I was saying, like being forgiving of like my friends for not understanding me, or at those certain times, I think just be forgiving to whoever, to everyone. I forgive my dad for not understanding. I'd forgive myself for not understanding why my kid likes fucking Roblox, but let him play what he wants. Just don't go spending 2,000 Robux, out of my credit card. So like I will have some boundaries there too, because I feel like there is a protection element. I am going to protect my kid from spending in this current digital climate of gaming that really does capture kids. Buying plushies and Pokemon cards, like who gives a shit? Like that's good stuff. But like for digital currency in a game, like I don't know. Part of me is stubborn. Part of me would be really stubborn as a parent. I feel like I would be a really strict parent when it comes to shit like that. And the kid might hate me.
It's like terrifying, right? Like the digital age for that, because like being a young, like I remember like just being like whatever, like a teenager, and the Wii came out and being like able to buy a Wii points card and download games. But like now it's everything's so digitally integrated that it's like everything kind of like coerces you into buying like stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like an opportunity, because, and I think most parents don't
to
use
get those
it
kids
way.
money, beat them and get them.
Oh, that's how Epic sees it. No doubt. But I think it's a really good opportunity to teach kids about money, and most parents probably don't see it that way. But I think there's going to be a wave of kids that grew up on like gimme online stuff and realize how disastrous it's been towards their finances. And some kids, hopefully, that learned like the difference between, a real life monetary benefit versus a hat on Fortnite.
Well,
so
it's like also like the value of what you're buying,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I couldn't imagine if I was a kid asking my mom if I could buy a hat on a video game. She'd tell me no. She'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about? A hat on it? No." But
see, I think kids should be given digital currency as early as possible.
Okay.
And then, therefore, not a credit card. Just currency that like your allowance is now on a digital
voucher,
thing.
and here's how long you have to spend it.
Yeah, well, just here it is, and then if you want to buy a hat on Fortnite, go for it, knock yourself out.
But this is
and
what
then it's
you
like,
have left, and you have to figure out.
Then you go to the store and they're like, "Oh, there's an ice cream cone." It's like, "Well, do you have the money?" No. Bummer.
Yeah, I had that hat though.
You have a hat on Fortnite, and hopefully you can use that to teach them to how worthless that is.
I think it's a great opportunity, with also an opportunity for pitfall. Just by the nature of how addicting everything is and anything is, and the nature of a kid having developing emotional intelligence and self-awareness, I don't see what's to stop them from going in your drawer and getting your credit card number. And obviously that's like a big violation of everything, of trust and privacy and stuff. It's like a really like, it is a scary way that they could just fuck you.
Oh yeah.
So like they may reject your whole learning program for them. obviously there's a method for parenting, and like there are ways to do it better and not better. The worst I could do when I was a kid was sneak a beer out of my parents' fridge when I was 13. You know, and maybe like come home late or something, or like. But I feel like it's a lot worse now, and that scares me.
It's different. It's a completely different world when we were kids.
Get those hats.
Get your hat.
Get your hat. Get your hats here. There's like a guy on Fortnite that walks around.
I got
hats here. It's the hat salesman. I don't know how Fortnite works. I've never played it. And also, I've never looked at like I've seen footage of people playing Fortnite, and I think the more that I look at Fortnite, the less sense it makes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this game? And then I'll see people playing it, and I'm like, they're like building shit and then firing guns, and then like they have like a pickaxe, and I'm like, what the hell am I looking at?
My girlfriend's really good at it. I couldn't. She's pretty. Like,
It's
she
a
went
great
to
game.
Whole, workers meetup, and she was like dominating all of like the, like people from like
Damn.
all these different companies and stuff, like representing their toys, and she was just dominating that. And I was just like, holy shit, like you're good.
Maybe I'm getting to that age.
Look, it's a really good game. That's the thing, is that all like Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, they're all phenomenal games that are built on the premise of let's add microtransactions so that we can actually make money off of it. So I have no issues. League of Legends the same way. It's free to play, and then we'll build it off the microtransactions. That's what makes them great and therefore addictive. Is that they're actually good games that little kids can get, and therefore
Minecraft isn't free, but
there's a free version.
there's
a-
I think
yeah.
most.
That's the only way
a paid for version.
That's the only way my nephew would play. He only plays free games.
I guess like the phone version or something, or like computer versions maybe are free.
Yeah. There's free versions of it, and then they can gateway into whatever method they want to do. But you get it, and there are tons of bad games, and they just fail. And that's the thing. The game has to be at least playable and good before you can start making a shit ton of money. So there's still quality. It's just that it's delivered in a package that's kind of foreign to old people like us. That
I don't know, man. I'm
don't understand.
I'm sucked into the multiverses train, and that's like a free to play game.
Multiverses train. What's that?
Multiverses. It's the Warner Brothers Smash Bros. That came out.
It's not a train
Oh,
simulator.
okay.
You know, the biggest fighting game launch of all time. It is,
Oh.
seriously. It had like the most players of any fighting game launch of all time. But it was also free to play. But it's a Smash clone. But it's like
Okay.
got like Batman, Looney Tunes.
You could say
and
it's a
shit.
smash hit.
But yeah, that's the same way where like I haven't spent any money on it because I can just play and unlock stuff slowly. But like, yeah, it's the same thing where like if I was a kid playing that, like, yeah, I want to play as Tom and Jerry. Like, yeah, I want to play as the Iron Giant. Like, give me a credit card, mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I was going to engage with that point of like how do you trust your kids, I think it's just you just have to, and you have to accept the consequences and the risk. There will always be risk in all aspects of life. So hope it doesn't come to that, but when it does, like have the interventions, have the talks. Why can't, like, and then I guess just really like listening to and engaging with the kid. So I don't know if I was to parent a kid in this generation, it's so hard because like my heart's like I want to grow them up on fucking Zelda and Mario Party, but like it's just not feasible. I don't think.
No,
Not anymore.
not at all.
They gotta play the garbage.
And you know what? They care a lot
Saboteur.
about what their peers like.
Oh,
Yeah, they play whatever they see people playing on YouTube.
That's
My
the thing,
nephew told me he wants an Xbox, like and I was like, oh, and I pulled it up. I'm like, Xbox Series X, like at the time, like the best whatever you can get. He's like, no, I want the smaller version. And I was like, why? And he's like, because I saw somebody on YouTube playing it. I'm like, you want an actively worse product just because you saw like one of your heroes playing it. It's very bizarre, but they're set on different parameters than we're used to.
Yeah, I would say I wasn't like that, but I guess I still was to some extent because I would be like watching like Classic Game Room, and he's like, in like 2010, and like this game Near is really cool, and I'm like, well, I'm picking that up, you know, and, or like something like that, you know. So there was still that influence. Not really about my peers, but like I guess that like internet influence for me as well, where I was like playing, like especially like the 360 era, where like I would just hear people talk about games, and I would want to pick them up for myself.
It's interesting because I feel like I don't know at elementary level nowadays. I don't know. I feel like kids like YouTube and stuff more than they like Pokemon and stuff like I did.
Oh yeah, kids YouTube. Oh man, that's the industry we should be in. We should have a kids YouTube channel.
If you want to just forever give up on monetization.
Yeah, I'll do finger puppets.
Yeah, we're like a year too late or whatever.
Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? I don't know how the song goes anymore. Yeah, beyond that point. Like, yes,
and
sir,
I don't
yes,
want to wait any longer. I just want you to press subscribe.
Yeah, there's a scummy thing about like how stuff's monitored towards kids nowadays, especially YouTube.
I mean, you say nowadays, but isn't it forever? Yeah. Hasn't it always been that way?
Kinda, but like like it's just kind of like a direct. Like I didn't have a direct way to feed these things into my brain. I guess maybe like TV or something, but like
TV.
It still wasn't like that. Like I saw like a second ad while I was watching SpongeBob or something.
Oh come on! At 2 a.m. you turned on the fucking dirty channel once.
But no, not like that though. But I'm just saying that like there's whole channels where it's literally just products.
Yeah.
Well, think about Pokemon. What's Pokemon?
I guess that is true. I feel like there was more of a substance there though than watching fucking Ryan open a grab bag toy. You know,
I won't have you deface Ryan like that. That's where I draw the line.
Like, today we got this new toy that you have to beg your mom for. But like, I guess that is the same thing as like Pokemon, or even in like the '80s, they had like the G.I. Joe and He-Man and stuff. Where they're to sell toys, but like,
no, it's not the same thing.
It's just advertising.
No, I agree with your former claim. I think that Pokemon was way more substantive. At least you're learning.
No, I'm saying I think there is substance, but
yeah, I don't think Ryan's substantive. Like, I mean, what are you gonna get? Like a review littered with like ads? Like in the Pokemon movie, how many ads are there? Like really? Like for like I guess the game or like the the new movie or something. It's all like self-promoting, I guess. But you still got an overarching narrative with morals and lessons. Do I get that from a Ryan video? No, it's just a little kid jumping up and down.
Yeah, but it's all relative.
Not anymore. The kid's like 13. I was like,
is he getting edgy?
Hey, kids, you want
fat kid boobs and stuff now? It's just, like he's getting kind of weird, guys. we need to stop.
It's actually a racial awareness channel. Racial awareness with Ryan. Where
it's all relative.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all relative because in the future, in like 10 years from now, when those kids are a little more grown up, maybe 15 years, they're gonna look at like kids that were their age, and they're gonna be like have like VR sunglasses on or whatever, and it's gonna be beamed into their head, and they're like, "That's a little too much, guys. Come on."
They're gonna eat their computer pills every morning, and
yeah, it's like, well, yeah, maybe I watched Ryan just literally make a 20-minute ad, but at least I didn't take internet pills.
Well, you know what? They're also going to grow up and be like, how did I watch this shit? Because, like, a lot of people did that with Pokemon.
For sure.
Like, how did I play this shit?
Well, yeah, but, like, you got to think about, like, whenever we were kids and Pokemon came on, that's how our parents viewed it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how my mom viewed it, definitely. Was just, like, they want you to buy games and cards and stuff. You know, that's kind of like the joke from South Park, the Pokemon. Gotta buy them, buy. You know, that comes from a perspective of that, you know. So I guess like every generation is going to look at the new generation in that way.
Yeah,
you're not thinking about the same thing. Like my parents had things advertised to them, you know.
trying to like distinguish the corollary. It's hard. It's because there are similarities. There's going to be like differences, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to consider the axiom that multimedia franchise with games, animes, mangas.
Technically,
toys.
technically Ryan has 2 video games, so
I
is he
know.
now a multimedia franchise?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to like figure that out, like in my head.
Is Ryan a multimedia franchise?
When's the Ryan map out?
When's the Ryan movie?
No, never. It's probably out there.
I'm sure there's like a Ryan cartoon or something on like a kitty channel or something. Or
Wait
even on
5
YouTube.
years, you'll get the 18+ edition.
Oh, where's Ryan? Dude, he's gonna like,
VH1.
fall. Okay, predictions here now. Ryan's gonna fall off the fucking rocker, and he's gonna just be a washed up kid celebrity doing drugs. But that's my. I don't wish that for him, but that's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, he's going to be messed up. But hopefully it's a private and easy to conceal. Like, he can just kind of, in his own world. Hopefully it's not like a big national blow up where he goes to the White House.
Yeah,
Sues his parents, yeah.
Lindsay Lohan trying to like steal kids or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm going to say this guy, my honest opinion is that I think he goes on, becomes some kind of like CEO of a company, and also maybe maintains his YouTube channel. My out there prediction would be he like does go on drugs and Pornhub and explores weird shit. Like,
I think he's gonna turn 18 and realize that his parents used him for monetary gain his entire childhood.
Yeah.
I don't see him not doing that, but I do see him separating from that and like,
That's what I forget.
like making his own empire. Like, because he's got all these
One of those
things now.
those people like always like you look at like the wait, we are way off base. I guess we're still talking about parents. Look at like the Disney Channel
This is a
and like
perfect-
Nickelodeon kids, Disney Channel and like Nickelodeon kids. They all end up pretty fucked up by the end.
But do we have a
Then-
YouTube example besides Ryan of somebody who's been
No,
in
we
that
don't have
position?
YouTube. I was gonna mention though. There's one interesting case recently where I forgot her name. She was from iCarly or something. But she had a fucked up childhood there with her mom when she was forced to do all the stuff that she really wanted to do. And then she has a book out now.
I'm glad my
that's
mom
called,
died. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. And she escaped the entire industry. She doesn't act anymore either. She kind of she got away from all of that once she got of age.
Mm.
And
I mean, look at
you don't
Britney Spears.
Yeah, she's fucked.
Yeah.
She's a bit
Yeah.
like
The ongoing.
slavery. Well,
She doesn't really. Those people end up not really having a normal relationship with their parents because it became a business transaction their entire life.
Yeah, that became like your manager instead of your parent.
And
But
it's
they've
just like,
got
well,
a
why am I
firm
only getting
hold
10%?
on Brittany. What's the hold on Ryan?
We don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Again, YouTube is such a young thing. You know, like we say that it's like 2022, but so YouTube's still pretty young compared to everything else. That we haven't had this before. We don't know. Like, is he? Do they just
he
have
okay?
all the money? Yeah. Like, what's his like? Is he just get to play with toys and that's his?
Yeah,
That's
what's
what he
his
gets.
cut?
Did his parents
did-
establish a
did
separate
they have,
fund?
like, a-
Will he be okay?
Yeah. As like,
Maybe.
is it like a Ryan fund or something? You know.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Who knows? Because
Hopefully
there
he's
could just
taken
be
care
a
of.
lot of shitty hit pieces on his parents. We don't know. Like, he could end
Yeah.
up like making a documentary where he like fucking calls him out and shit, and he was lying. We don't fucking know. You know? What if he does that? for money?
When you put greed/money into a relationship, good lord, who knows what's gonna happen?
You know what the fucking Ryan syndrome is closer to is 90 Day, because they're gonna take that shit and they're gonna milk it. They're gonna make the
yeah.
fucking the Ryan's mom segment. You know, the Ryan
Can't wait.
documentary.
That Netflix series is gonna be amazing.
Yeah. Ryan.
Exposed.
Ryan, a Netflix series.
A Netflix special. Number
Yeah.
1.
Whenever he was
Weeks.
just 10 years old. Hi! Opened a Minecraft Lego set. Little did he know.
So this is where it all began.
Yeah.
Legos. Alex, rate your childhood.
My parents are very great and supportive, and I'm very lucky to have them. So I rate it A 9 because nothing's a 10.
Nothing's a 10?
Nothing's a 10 ever.
Wow.
A 10 means perfect.
Damn, my perception
Okay.
of myself shattered.
You know, I don't view 10 as perfect, for the record.
Oh, really? What do you view 10 as?
I always viewed 10 because yeah, I agree, nothing is perfect, but I always view 10 as it turned out as good as it possibly could within the circumstances.
I think the 1 to 10 scale is usually viewed weird. I think people view like 7s and like 6 and 7 as bad.
Yeah,
It's not.
I agree.
It's not bad. Like 6 and 7 is like okay. It's
Well,
good.
because game reviewers are fucking paid by the corporations to not give them bad reviews, so basically a 5 is the worst you can get. So,
Yeah.
so naturally you're like, oh, 7, it must not be very good.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's supposed to be on the other end of great. So,
Yeah. Like 5 like the middle of the road, you know? So that's how I always viewed it. So I always viewed 10 as like flawless, you know. And I'm not saying my childhood wasn't flawless. You know, you always have, you know, you live with other people, like they're gonna have issues with themselves and stuff that you can't control as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
But you just gotta learn how to process that as an adult.
Mhm.
What do
Speaking
I see
of-
10 as? 10 is like timeless, and I think also because when I think of 10s, like I think also are S tier. You know, like
Yeah.
the Advance Wars, like it was just an immediate throw.
Oh
in the
yeah,
S, you know, it's
throw it in
like,
the S.
It's like you know that this changed the game. That's how I kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording this on the day that a game that's rated 10 comes out. Do you know what the game is?
Little Hackers too.
No.
Donald Duck. Don't know.
Is there a Donald Duck game coming? Hell yeah.
Imagine.
Pac-Man World. Repackaged. Repacked.
Repack.
10 out of 10 name.
I think it's what it's called.
Repack. I mean, you got to go with the pun, right? As the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
10.
I feel
10
like
out of
it's
10.
not going to be a 10, but
10 out
I'll
of
take your
10.
word for
Shut
it.
up.
Okay. Sorry.
Pac-Man World attacking the Pax, or something. Pac Corporation brought down.
I was on my Switch this morning playing some EDF and another equally embarrassing game, and I saw it on the eShop, and I was like, "Holy shit, Pac-Man's out!"
Dads.
Creepy aside, in the corner of my screen, it just told me that it's not only is it 96 degrees outside, but it's now polluted air. That's a very creepy thing for my weather report to tell me.
Do not go outside. Spencer, do you have a hazmat suit?
I mean, COVID happened, so yeah.
You have a full like yellow.
First
hazmat
thing I
suit.
bought, yeah.
You have like the one from It's Always Sunny with like the beer thing on the side. You see like I'm
gonna go to the gym with. I'm gonna go to the gym in my hazmats.
Just another day in Arizona.
Douse yourself with hand sanitizer.
Okay, it's back to sunny. Thank God. I was worried for a minute there.
You think somebody just farted?
Yeah, so we just fired it into their thermometer. And somehow it picked that up.
Polluted.
Real poopy out there.
It smells like shit today. What if the weatherman came on? It was like, man, it smells like shit today.
Be a win for the Weather Channel.
Today's gonna fucking suck. I want to be that weatherman. Today's gonna be fucking terrible. if you
Yeah.
like, because they're always like it's like, oh, it's a beautiful day, or it's like we're getting some showers today, so those flowers needed it, and it's like I'm gonna be the guy like, oh my fucking god. Can you believe this shit?
It's fine, but I think you should stay inside. Just go on your couch.
It's fine.
It's fine. Well, here's to the future of dadhood, kids, and games.
Cheers.
Let us know your lesson.
Cheers. Cheer us. Cheers. Oh, we're all drinking water?
Wow.
For us.
I'm drinking a
H2O.
bubbly, which is water.
This is basically water.
Flavored water. Yeah.
H2O confirmed.
It's mango. It's a mango bubbly. I like mango.
Yeah, man. Go. I don't know. Let us know if you're a dad. What are your pro tips? What has worked? What hasn't worked for you? And let us know if we're just full of shit.
Lettuce and tomato.
Love it.
Clean your room.
Read a book. Spencer?
Spencer,
Uh,
you got a dadism to deliver.
uh, go out and have a catch.
Go out and have a catch with who?
Here, son, have a catch.
Dude, it was my dad said throw a ball against the wall.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that sounds thrilling. That sounds way better than saving the world in Zelda.
Yeah,
throw a ball
go
against the wall.
Yeah, like go outside and use your imagination. I was like, I just want to stay inside and like live in this other world.
Yeah, it's literally an oven outside.
Yeah,
You really want me to do that?
The weather says polluted air.
Yeah,
You're wrong.
dude. I remember
Yeah.
one time. This is gonna be a funny story because how it ends, but I got so excited. Okay, so my mom kind of had like that. She didn't want me to be too lazy, so she was like, during the summer, she was like, go outside and play for a little bit. So I remember one day I got so excited because like she had a set time. She was like, you can't come inside till like 3 o'clock or something, something like that. And then after that, I'd come outside, play games, and do whatever. So I had to spend some time outside. And I remember one time I was out riding around the neighborhood that we lived in with my bike and stuff, hanging out with some friends. And I got so excited because it started to rain, which means I can go home and play video games. So I paddle really fast, go home. I'm all wet from the rain. I go inside. I'm like, it's raining, Mom. I'm going to go upstairs. So I go upstairs to my room and I turn on my PS2 and I play Fight Night Round 2. I don't know why the hell that's what I was excited to play that day. I just have memories of playing Fight Night Round 2. So I don't know. I guess I was just super into playing that game at the time. I think you could like make boxers, so I was like super into like making different boxers and stuff. But like, yeah, it was just like some stupid game I was playing. But I don't know why I had memories of being so excited to go home and play that. But Fight Night Round 2, everybody.
Oh, do you guys do you care to emulate your most nostalgic part of your childhood? Is that important to you?
Like, what do you mean? I'm not sure.
What you talking about, Willis?
Spencer said earlier that like that era of when you had to cherish every moment because your resources were so limited. Is that a feeling that you care to emulate? Is that a feeling you empathize with, Alex? Yeah.
Dude, absolutely not. I have so much shit that I'm a jaded adult now, where I'm like, I have 500 video games, and I don't know which one I actually want to play.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation, but that feeling of like, well, this is what I've got, and I'm gonna love every second of it. I do wish I could get that, but not at the cost of, fear that the thing may be turned off at any moment. So,
Sure.
I guess no, but there's certain aspects of it that I do miss.
I think that the compromise would have to be content because all of us are making content. And so to get that back, like it would actually entail just not, I think like a real pullout from YouTube. And I think that's a hard compromise because I do love making content,
But it changes your relationship with it.
That's true. And there is the love of the stuff on YouTube is not the same as the love of the game. So I feel like that will always slightly taint my mind and my relationship with games. Or, if not taint, then change. Like, change the nature of it. It just means I'm playing spaceship shooters because they're quick and short, but they're also fun. So I'm just changing how I experience games. But also, it wouldn't just be stop making content. It would have to be really like stop watching content. Because all of, like, if you're going back to fucking purpose, all of the purpose of anything, even we do, or any content creator and influencer, is to get you to want to play stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, if you removed all that stuff, it would literally be like, I'm only going to buy the thing that my brain wants to play. And it would be, that's kind of trippy to even think about. Like, what are you going, like GameSpot or something, or wherever people would get gaming news that isn't YouTube or something, because there's no, like, without influencers, how do you learn about games? And that it would just be, that'd be very hard. That's interesting.
And is that desirable?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not yet.
Spencer, I'm wearing my shirt has your two favorite things on it. It's Kingdom Hearts and pop figures. Just so you know, just wanted to share that with you.
Ooh.
For your childhood.
I saw Spencer drinking a lot of pop soda.
It's Donald. You mentioned Donald. There's Donald.
Whoa! Game confirmed.
Pop figure Donald. Beady-eyed Donald.
Let's go. Do it for Donald. Hashtag.
Let's close out on our favorite Kingdom Hearts moment.
'Cause you know I'd watch the button mappers if I could just press subscribe tonight.
Making my way to the mappers, watching their stuff, just push and subscribe. Leave a comment.
Spencer played Shenmue. He drank pop and got no gotcha. Spencer, what made you play Shenmue?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, Spencer, what made you play Shenmue?
I can't answer that question.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Why are you playing Shenmue?
What are you even thinking? You don't even like Sega.
Who are you, Terry? I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
What is your dilemma here?
This boring piece of shit.
What makes it so hard to answer?
Because I don't want to spoil anything.
What do you mean spoiler? You already played it. What was going through your mind?
Would you want me to explain why I played it? I could do that if it'll ruin.
No, in the episode. Put it here.
Stay tuned for a map out. Bye.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.